Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle. Okay. Hello friends. Specifically, hello Casey. Today's your birthday. Not actually when I'm filming this. This is past Brianna saying happy birthday to future Casey. Anyways, so basically this whole video, which I'm assuming is going to be a very long video, is specifically part of Casey's birthday present. So if anybody who's watching the channel doesn't want to stick around for this long, weird video, that's fine. You don't have to. It's okay if Casey's the only one who watches this, but I think some of you might enjoy this because of what's taking place in this video. Arm movements. That's what's taking place. Okay. For Casey's birthday, I have decided as her present during these difficult times that I would read one of her favorite books, if not her favorite book. And it's a book I've sworn I would never read, and Casey has never asked me to read because it's not something I would ever read. And that is it. I don't do scary. I don't handle it well. I can't read scary things. I can't read horror books. I don't like to read outside of my genre, and this is beyond outside of my genre. So, if you think it might be interesting to watch a very long reading vlog of somebody reading it for the first time, which is also their first Stephen King novel for the first time, which is also their first horror novel for the first time, then stick around. It might be fun. But it's going to be a very like in-depth reading vlog because I want Casey to just get like a lot of reactions from me. So it's probably gonna be long. I assume that by the time this is a finished video, it'll be long. Today is May 7th. I'm getting a little head start here. But the thing is, this thing is massive and it's scary. And so my plan is to read it like a little bit at a time in small chunks, kind of spread out over the next like month and a half leading up to her birthday, to not overwhelm myself with scary nightmare fuel. I have nightmares all the time anyway, but I don't want to feed them. So I'm gonna see if that method works, if reading it just like in little chunks at a time kind of works, and if not, I'll try to read it in like a big burst, which might also not work. I might not even be able to get through this whole book. Like this vlog might just end in the middle and we give up because it's too much. Hopefully not. We'll see. It's real big. We're gonna have to do something about this though, because I wanted to get a cover that did not have the creepy face on it, but this was the cheapest one. So we're gonna do something about this. We're gonna cover this up. But anyways, if you would like to follow along on my first horror Stephen King journey, stay tuned for the rest of this video. I hope it will be entertaining for all of you, but it is very specifically for Casey, my other half on this channel and best friend. Yeah, this is Casey's favorite book, or one of her favorite books. She read it when she was 11 because she's crazy, and she's read it many times since. She's very attached to the characters in this series, and she has like a tattoo from this book, so like it's a very big deal to her. And so I figured, what better present can I give than something so meaningful by torturing myself. Basically what's happening here is I'm torturing myself for Casey's birthday. She's gonna love it. So happy birthday, Casey, from past Brianna. This is the beginning of a very long reading vlog for this monstrosity. Let's do it. Found the solution. I have a picture. I have scotch tape. I have the solution for the book cover. Casey's not gonna like this part. I'm sorry, friend. What has to be done has to be done, right? It's finished. It's a picture of Casey on the cover of the book. I was originally thinking of drawing like a cute little doodle and just like sticking it on there, but then this seemed a lot funnier, so this is what we're reading now. Casey's face. Okay, I've solved the problem. It doesn't look scary anymore. It looks delightful. My best friend. If every book looked this cute, huh? God, it's massive, you guys. This thing is massive. It's gonna be terrible. Hello, friends. Here is our first official update in the It reading vlog. I am not very far in right now. I'm on chapter 4. That's funny. I'm on page 165, so I've read this much. Casey's birthday is in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, like 12 days. So I might not finish this in time for her birthday. My plan was to have this whole thing read and annotated and in the mail on its way to her, and then this reading vlog done and edited and ready by her birthday, and then on her birthday I would post the video and she would receive the book in the mail, and it was gonna be great. But that's probably not gonna happen. So I'm hoping to at least get halfway through, and then on Casey's birthday I'll just tell her. Hopefully that'll be fine. But yeah, I've got a couple of tabs going, as you can see. This is my first time ever actually tabbing and annotating a book, which is funny because it's a fucking horror book that I don't like scary things. Nothing too scary's happened yet though, so it's why I've made it this far without too much of a struggle, other than the fact that I haven't been reading it as consistently as I had hoped. But mental health is hard, and the world, as you all know, is trash. So it's been hard to focus on anything, especially reading something that I'm not super into. No offense, Casey. It's just because it's scary. Also, the writing style of this book is just so not my vibe. It's getting better. Like, the beginning I wasn't feeling it, but it's getting better. Like, now I'm almost 200 pages in, and I'm definitely feeling it more. Once we got through the phone calls, and then we got to like Mike's point of view, that was all very interesting, and Mike's chapter there was a little bit creepy. It had some creepy elements because it was going over like the history of Derry. I had no idea the clown was been there the whole fucking time. I just assumed that the clown showed up when the story starts with them as the kids, which I haven't actually gotten to yet in the book. I don't know if it just jumps back and forth. Like, I assume now that I'm past the phone calls that I'm going to be jumping into the kids' point of views, and then it's gonna go like back and forth, but I'm not quite sure. I thought it was gonna be split like right down the middle, like it was gonna be kids' point of views, a part 1, and then part 2 jump to the adults. I probably just assumed that because I think that's what the movies did. Didn't watch the movies obviously, but I think that's what the movies did. But I think the book is gonna be different, and I don't hate that this skipping around. It's not my favorite style, but I don't hate it so far. But yeah, this is my first time like ever tabbing and annotating a book, and I don't really know how to do it. I'm not good at it, so I don't really know like what things I'm supposed to be tabbing. So I'm usually just kind of tabbing so far on like places where I've like made a note that I think is kind of funny, or where it's like something that I'm like, oh, is this foreshadowing, or this is an interesting thing, like what's this gonna lead to? And also every time the turtle shows up, I draw a little turtle in the book, so in case you have that to look forward to. Turtles everywhere. Stanley killed himself, so that's cool. I didn't actually think that was gonna happen. Like, I assumed that they were all gonna be there, but like the beginning of the book and one of the main characters is already dead. Obviously I'll see his stuff as the kid, and I guess that's the more important part of the story because it's like the beginning of everything. I don't know. My goal is to get like halfway before Casey's birthday. If I don't finish it, I probably won't finish it. I really want to set up a chat on Facebook that she's not in, where I've just been like giving live reactions as I'm reading, in addition to annotating and then doing this vlog. And then I'm going to, when I'm done, add her to that chat so she can see all these reactions. But Casey's birthday, obviously you're going to be seeing this video on her birthday, but her birthday is the 22nd, and today I think is the 10th. We just finished playing a game of Talisman, which is, I think we've mentioned on the channel here before, it's like our favorite board game. It's ridiculous, and there's a digital version so we can play it while we're very distanced. And our friend Haley plays with us now, and it's been so fabulous having her play with us, so it's great. So yeah, we just did that today, and I made a dinner, and it was nice. And I'm gonna try to read some of this here in a few. I don't like to read this too close to when I'm going to sleep because I do tend to have really bad nightmares on my own. Like, nothing can spark it. I just have nightmares all the fucking time when I do sleep. If I'm lucky enough to sleep, I likely am to have nightmares. But if I consume any kind of media or anything that just scares me, I'm absolutely 100% going to have nightmares about it. That's just the way I've always been, which is why I don't like horror, because it will stick with me and it will infect my brain for a long period of time. Which is another reason why I was trying to read this slowly, because I was thinking that if I just kind of read it in small bursts, it wouldn't like affect me as much. And like I said, I haven't read anything too scary yet. I think I'm about to get into the creepy shit, so we'll see how that goes. But I don't like to read it too close to when I'm going to sleep, but most of the times when I have time to sit down and read and I'm feeling like awake enough to is like the late hours of the night when my boyfriend's still working before we end up going to bed. Like, he works nights, and he gets off work at 7 a.m. and that's when we go to bed. If I'm not working the next day, I'll just stay up with him and then we go to bed together. Now it's like midnight right now, so I'm gonna read for like 2 hours maybe, and that way I still have a few hours after that before I'm gonna go to sleep. And hopefully I won't have nightmares. I don't really have many thoughts so far. I want Bev's husband to burn in a fire. That's my biggest, that's like the most opinions I've had since reading this, is how much I hate her husband. Like, so much. So I hope he dies. He clearly is irrelevant. Stanley, he said, no, I'm not coming back. He hopped off that train real fast. So that was a little bit sad. And it's gonna be sadder as I get to know him as a kid, so that's gonna suck. But I'm excited to continue. Just knowing that this is my best friend's favorite book makes me want to read it, even though I know it's something that I don't want to read. So I'm hoping that like I can at least get super attached to the characters and have like interesting thoughts about that to make Casey excited that I'm reading it, and not just be like, oh, I hate everything about this. Because I will hate the scary stuff. Like, I'm not gonna vibe with it at all. But I know that even like the scary stuff isn't even what Casey loves about this book. She loves the characters so much. They're like her favorite little group of characters in a book ever, and that's why she's so attached to this book, is because of the characters. So I'm hoping that I can also become attached to the characters, and then we can bond over that. Okay, so I will come back at you guys with another update once I get a little bit more reading done. And yeah, hello, back with another It update. This vlog is just gonna be a progression of me looking more and more gross, isn't it? Anyways, so I've got a little bit of more tabbing going on. I am on chapter 8, Georgie's room and the house on Nabald Street. I think shit's about to get a little bit more creepy. On page 332, so I'm 322, so I've not made it very far, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it. My feelings so far, I love Ben. He's my favorite. I don't care that I haven't seen all of the other kids' point of views yet. Ben's the best. Ben is everything. Ben must be protected at all costs. I love Ben so much. Like, I think I just wrote I love Ben like 1,200 times in Ben's chapter in the sidebars. Like, that's all my annotations are right now. Are just, I love Ben, and then making fun of the clown. Somebody, who was it? Eddie got chased by the clown, and it was just like whispering blowjob creepily while he ran away, so that was cool and not at all horrifying. And I haven't even really made it to like the horrifying stuff yet, so I mean, that's a good sign. I've managed to read this much and like nothing too terrifying has happened. I haven't had any nightmares yet, so my plan of reading it in small bursts has been working thus far. But also, I haven't actually gotten anything too scary. Like, there's been a few creepy moments where they're like recounting the first times they've had something weird happen to them. I think, was it Stanley was the one with the big bird version? I'm not sure. I keep getting the kids mixed up. So I keep Googling pictures of the cast from the new movies, because so I can just remember which one's which. Because I kept thinking over and over again, the one that's actually Richie, I kept thinking was Mike, and then I kept thinking that one was Bill. So I think I'm starting to get a hold on who's who now. Finally. Now that I'm getting deeper in it and I'm reading it a bit more consistently, I think I know what's what. Maybe not. I don't really know what's gonna happen, but I'm going to try to read. I want to get halfway in the next like day or two, because then if I'm at least halfway and I don't finish by Casey's birthday, at least I'll, you know, be halfway. And a lot of times I've almost gone to add this on Goodreads because I want to update my progress, and I can't because Casey can't know. So that's been fun. I keep almost doing that, and also like the secret chat that I have with my friend Alex, where I'm doing like, you know, like live reactions of my thoughts. Both of us have almost said stuff about me reading this book in our chat with Casey, and I'm just like, I'm so afraid we're gonna give it away. Like, one of us is gonna do it, but hopefully not. I've even taken like care to, every time I stop reading the book, to like go hide it on my shelf backwards so you can't tell what book this is, because I send Casey pictures of my cats all the time, and if this book's just sitting on the table in the background, she'd be like, what the fuck? That's been fun. I've like actively have to try to like hide the book out of sight just because I send Casey that many pictures of my cats. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. Again, nothing too scary's happened yet. I really am liking getting the points of view of the kids. Like it's weird because obviously like the style that this is written in, it's like in like third person, not limited, what's the other one? My brain's broken, but where it's like in the same paragraph, it can like switch point of views of like the thoughts of a character, and it's a little jarring. I just don't like when stories do that. I like when it's like third person limited, but it's fine. Like, it's just a little thing. Anyways, that's my update for now. I love Ben. Ben is everything, and I'm gonna try to read some more now, so maybe we'll get another update here soon. Okay, bye. Film a clip, and this was crying outside the door right when I started filming, so Jasmine, you say hi to Casey? Say happy birthday, Casey. Say happy birthday, Casey. Didn't know. I don't care about that bitch. Look at all my videos. No? Okay. Don't pee on anything. So, new update for It with Casey's face on it. I am finding myself liking this book. Obviously I don't like the scary stuff, and I don't like the writing style, and I hate third person omniscient, which is how this is written. Hate it. But I still find myself wanting to come back and read more. So I haven't gotten to any of the super scary shit yet though, so I assume that might change once I get to the scary stuff. I've been tabbing as I go, but most of the stuff I'm tabbing is just like funny jokes I'm writing for Casey's benefit. I'm on page 492. I'm at the reunion where they're all reuniting as adults. I've now read all of the kids, like the remembering of the kids' point of views when they first have their first experiences with Pennywise, and that's been really interesting. I liked getting all of their point of views when they were children. Ben, as previously stated in this vlog, is my absolute favorite. I do like all of them, but Ben's my favorite. I did go and look up in like an old chat to see which of the kids was Casey's favorite because I forgot, and now I know, and it's Stanley, which makes me so sad because of what happens in the very beginning of the book with adult Stanley. So that sucks, Casey, but I'm really excited to read more and try to figure out why Stanley is Casey's favorite, because I don't actually know yet, because we just got the one small like point of view from Stan so far. So I'm excited to see why Stanley is Casey's favorite and read more. I was on Skype with Casey earlier filming another video, and I literally had this sitting on the desk next to me, and I was like, oh god, I threw it in a drawer. I don't think she knows what I'm planning for her birthday, hopefully. But I've been talking about it more and more, and how I'm just like so excited for her to get her present. So I don't know. I don't know if she has guesses or not. It'll be interesting to see if she can figure out the surprise. But yeah, right now I'm a little bit shy of halfway. I'm like slightly less than 100 pages from halfway, I think, if my math is correct. And so I wanted to get halfway about 3 days ago, so it's not going very well. We'll see, but I am not hating it, which is a super big shock, even though I hate the writing style a lot. I don't know, the characters, that's why Casey loves this book, and that's why I keep finding myself wanting to come back and read more. The bad thing is I do find myself thinking about it a decent amount when I'm not reading it, which is bad because I'm going to be into the super scary shit soon, and then I'm going to be thinking about that when I'm not reading it, which is not great. But we'll see how it goes. We're going to see if this book traumatizes the fuck out of me. I hope not, but who knows. But yeah, so there's another update for you guys. I don't hate it yet. We'll see how that goes. Okay. Jazzy, do you want to say goodbye? Say happy birthday, Casey. You're a stupid bitch because you can't come visit me now. I know. I agree. Bye. Hello, friends. I just got out of the shower and I'm really tired, but I've made some progress. We are finally past the halfway point. I think I'm on page 600. Literally page 600. So that is slightly past halfway, just by like barely any. But I'm doing it. I got more tabs going. I don't know if I'm gonna finish this by Casey's birthday, and I'm really upset about it. Just because it's so hard to read sometimes, and I can't read it for long periods of time because just mental health, and then the writing style, and then the fact that I can't read it before I go to sleep, and I'm going to sleep soon, and I was reading it for like 2 straight hours earlier. Listen, I'm liking it so far, but I will say that the section that I just read got elevated in its creepiness, which was not great. The reunion chapters where they all got together and like reunited and whatever, and then they all went off on their own to kind of like rekindle their memories and like get refamiliarized with dairy in general and to just see what happened. And obviously I knew nothing good was gonna happen, but like I was still just kind of taken by surprise when Pennywise just showed up in the fucking library and was like, hey Ben, I have a book and a balloon, let's play. Or whatever the fuck he says. It was just jarring. Ben went to the library and he did not have a good read, Casey. Do you think the worst one out of those was Bev's chapter? That one was just a little bit much. A little bit much. Yeah. Oh, and I don't actually think, am I still in the middle of those? I'm still in the middle. I haven't finished that section yet. So right now I'm at Bill Denbrough sees a ghost. So I'm on Bill's little walking tour section right now because I wanted to get through all of them, but I'm fucking tired and I have to go to bed soon, and I also need to read something else tonight. So I do really like the characters. Ben is still my favorite, but I like all of them. Like, they all just have like a nice uniqueness about them. I really like Richie. The more that I'm reading about him, just interesting. But anyways, that's my update for right now. Bye. Hello friends, so the final update. I finished this beast of a book. Holy crap. It was so big. Why was it so big? Okay, I know this vlog started out really positive. I was like, I kind of like it so far. Like, I'm into it a little bit. It's not that scary. It's not that difficult. Oh boy, howdy, did that change as I got deeper into the story. I do still stand by the fact that I liked the characters. The characters are fleshed out really, really well. There's 7 of the main characters. At least when they're kids, there's 7. And they're fleshed out really, really well. They each have like unique personalities and quirks and storylines. So that was done really well, and I liked all of the kids. Although I will say there was an unfair amount of time spent on Bill and not some of the others. Obviously, like, Bill's like the leader of the group, so that makes sense. But like, I feel like Mike and Stanley got like the short end of the stick when it came to getting into like their personal stories and their personal lives, because Mike came in so late into the story. Like, he wasn't there in like the first half of the kids kind of uniting together and stuff, and then Stanley just didn't get a lot of sunshine. And I wonder if this is why he's Casey's favorite, is because he is like the underdog in that sense. He's the underdog in a lot of senses, I think, but I don't know. Casey, we'll have to have a discussion on why Stan's your favorite, because I want to know the feelings. Ben is still my favorite. I loved Ben the most throughout the entire book. I will say, after Ben, I think Richie and Eddie are my next 2 favorites. I think they grew on me the most throughout the story. Final thoughts, I can honestly say I would have super DNF'd this really early on if I was not reading it for the sake of it being a present for my best friend's birthday. Geez, it was so much, right? Like, it was so much. There's so much in this book that's not necessary. There's so much stuff, and like, I get that it's just all being fleshed out to the extreme, which some people love. Some people love when the story is fleshed out even more, when, like, you know the history of everything, you know the backstory of everyone. That's great if that's your thing, but like, some of it was so unnecessary for this being a book as long as it is. Like, so much of that could have just not been there, because it didn't really do much for the story. It was like last 200 pages when it was like splitting between the point of views, where it was like the adults, and then it was like leading into the kids and the adults, and it was like cutting off into the sentences. I liked that because it made it go a little faster, but it was also frustrating because it was interspersed with chapters about like what was happening in Derry, and I just didn't care what was happening above ground when our characters were underground dealing with the clown. That's all I cared about. That was the point of the story, so I didn't care about those like chunks. They were just boring and slowed me down. And I will say, the fact is, when you get into this book and you realize it's telling the kids' stories parallel to telling the adult stories, as the adults are like remembering, I like the way it's set up, how like you get the kids' point of views because the adults are having the memories. Like, I like how that was set up, but you figure out early on you're getting 2 climaxes in this book, right? You're gonna get the climax of the kids' story when they think they finished it, they didn't finish it, right? Obviously, it comes back. So that's your first climax, right? That's your first big thing that happens, and then you're gonna have your final climax when they actually defeat the clown. This is what I expected going into the book. I did not expect it all to be at the very, very end of the book. I did not expect to have to get through 1,000 pages, 1,000 plus pages of book before I got to even the kids' ending, like the end of their story. And like, I get why it's done the way it is, like, it makes sense. I just did not like that there's 1,000 pages of build-up before anything super intense happens. I don't know. It made me read it so much slower. Also the writing style, I just don't like it. I don't like it. I can tell you right now that having read my first Stephen King novel and it being it makes me not interested in the slightest in picking up any more Stephen King novels in the future. So if anybody wants me to read more Stephen King in the future, you're gonna have to convince me, because this didn't do it for me. And not just because it's like horror, oh, it's a birdie. Not just because it's horror, because also this was not that scary. Like every single update I gave you guys, I was like getting deeper and deeper into the book, and I was like, I haven't seen anything too scary yet. There's like creepy elements that I didn't like, and I will say I did have one nightmare in regards to that was influenced by reading this book. When it got to like the end and they're actually like facing off against Pennywise both times, it just was like silly to me. It didn't come across as scary. Maybe it's just because I was so done with the story at this point. I was just so eager to be done with it. I was trying to finish it in time for Casey's birthday. I finished it 2 days before, because right now I'm filming this on Sunday, and tomorrow, Monday, when you see this, is Casey's birthday. So I was just struggling to get through it so I could finish it on time. So that was part of it, because I was just frustrated because mentally I was not in a place of wanting to read anything, let alone read this. Also, the one scene, you know the one. If you've read it, you know the one I'm talking about. The really gross scene towards the very end with them, the kids in the tunnels. It was so unnecessary. Like, I knew this was coming. I knew about this scene before I read the book. I didn't know entirely the context of it, but I knew what happens. And I was not looking forward to it. I thought it was going to be worse than it was. Not to say it's not terrible, because it's disgusting and unrealistic, and it does nothing for the story. It does not make sense. I thought there was going to be at least some like in-story reason why this thing happens. No, there's no reason for it. It didn't do anything for the story. I think Stephen King just wanted to write about an 11-year-old girl getting fucked 6 times over in a dirty sewage tunnel. Like, why? Oh, it's a good thing that was at the very end of the book, because I would have just not been able to power through after reading that. I just don't understand how any editors or publishers let that slide, because it doesn't even do anything in the story. There's no part in context that makes it necessary. So that was fun. Overall opinion, I didn't like this book. I liked the kids' story way more than I liked following the adults. There was things with the adults that I didn't like. I didn't like that Bill immediately cheats on his wife when him and Bev get together. They act like there's like these, you know, long lost lovers. Like, you guys knew each other for like a summer when you were 11. Like, calm the fuck down. I get that there's this weird like magical connection thing between all of them, and I like that. I do. That was one of my favorite aspects actually of the book, even though it was cheesy, was like the connection between them all. Like, as they were slowly coming together, they're like, oh, the circle's almost complete. Like, we're almost ready. And they didn't really understand what was happening, but it was so, I really liked how it was done. It was cheesy. It was really cheesy, but I liked it. I thought it was super, super cute. Like that scene when they're adults and like Mike's in the hospital and the doctor's about to come kill him, and then they're like, quick, we have to send our power to Mike. So cheesy. It was the cheesiest thing ever, but it was cute, and I still liked it even though it was really cheesy. But yeah, like the scary stuff at the end didn't even scare me that much, and that's the stuff that was supposed to scare me. I will say, if you are someone who has like an actual fear of clowns or spiders, you're not going to want to read this book, because the main focus of the scary stuff is on those 2 things, and other things, but that's the main part. And but yeah, I just kind of found it like hysterical when like Eddie starts like spraying it with his aspirator thing. I was laughing. It wasn't scary to me. I don't know, but I mean, it was fun. It was fun, you know, until they left the tunnel and they did the dirty. I also did not tab things nearly as much as I thought I would, right? I bought extra tabs thinking I was just gonna tab the shit out of this book because it's so big, but I didn't have enough thoughts to tab. Most of these tabs are just things that I wrote in here for Casey's benefit that I thought were funny. So if next time she wants to read it, she can go through and read my copy. I'm going to be sending this to her in the mail very soon, so she can kind of see where I annotated and tabbed and have fun with it. There is a specific tab here that has words on it, which oh yeah, that's where someone dies. I was mad about that. So yeah, I would not have read this book if not for it being Casey's favorite. I would not have continued reading it after having started it if not for that same reason. I would have DNF'd it very early on. I would have DNF'd it just because the writing style is so so far out of my grasp of enjoyment. Not to say that I didn't have a good time reading. Like, the kids' point of views were my favorite. Hello, kitty. You come be in my video? Hey, come be in my video. This is Casey's birthday video. You want to come say happy birthday to Casey? Say happy birthday, Casey. I love you. Come visit me a little. There she is. Say happy birthday, Casey. Say happy birthday, Casey. Oh no. Okay. I don't even know what I plan on rating this book. Cause like I did like a lot of it, but there's just so much I didn't like. Yeah. That one scene just really ruined it for me. There was other things too. There's so much time spent on stuff that does not do anything for the story. So much backstory given to Henry, and then like that scene right before Patrick dies, there's just a whole fucking chapter about his entire history up until that point when he's like killing his infant brother and mutilating animals and shit. And I'm like, this isn't necessary. Like, this kid's about to die. We've seen him on page like twice because he's just one of the background bullies. He's not like relevant in any way. And yet we had to spend an entire chunk on learning about how psychotic this kid is before he gets killed. Which didn't make any sense to me. It was just, it didn't do anything. It didn't move the plot forward. It was just unnecessary words on the page. Like, this book's already really long. Like, that didn't need to be in there. So there was just a lot of little things like that where it's just like, this isn't progressing the story. This isn't progressing the characters. This is just there to fill it out. It didn't need to be filled out. It's already a really big book. But I understand a lot of people like that. They like when there's things that, even though they're not necessarily necessary, they're still, it's adding to the world, it's adding to everything. That's fine if you like those things. I personally did not. That's okay. Anyways, I finished this book. I started it, I don't remember. I said it at the beginning of this video. I gave myself a month and a half, I think, from when I started reading this to now, and it took me that long. It's big and intense and not that scary. It's creepy, but not what I was expecting based on what I knew of Stephen King and creepiness. I don't know. Anyways, Casey, I read your favorite book. I hope you appreciate it because, whoo boy, it put me through a lot. I really did like the characters, especially the kids' point of views. That was my favorite part, I think, of just the whole story. It was just seeing the kids evolve, coming together, making their plans, executing their plans. It just took a really long time to do it, and I didn't like that. We have finished it. I am glad that I read it just to have a conversation with my best friend about some of her favorite characters. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Okay. So that being said, happy birthday, Casey. I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and I hope you enjoyed the chat reactions I dumped you into, and I hope you enjoy this actual book when it comes to you in the mail. Hopefully like next week. I'll try to get it out soon. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, and I love you, Casey. Happy birthday. Thank you for being my best friend in the whole wide world. You're great, and I love you. This year, putting myself through this torture was true love, clearly, so that's the end of this video. I am gonna throw in some random ass clips of Casey and I just throughout our friendship at the end of this video. So if you want to check out now, this is the end of the It Talk. And then the next like 5 minutes after this is just gonna be random clips of me and Casey throughout our friendships because I missed the before times when I could see her in person. Happy birthday, Casey. I love you. Bye.
There's a very long wall in between us. Haley's over there trying not to puke.
Yay, friends! Yay!
You're silly.
Yay!
Is Haley dead yet?
Oh, what?
You're a tree. If you're a tree, I'm a tree.
Tree friends.
I am a stick.
Please. Brianna.
If you're a tree, I'm a tree.
Tree friends.
I am a stick.
Can that be our theme song?
Yeah. Say it again, Casey.
Cognitive realm, bitches. I feel like I would rather smell than taste just to offer it up. I had to
Always talking about snitch witches.
It's from me, monkey. Holding hands. Oh, our eyes hold hands.
Hi, Casey. I'll do better.
No, we don't.
No.
We're gonna try.
We're gonna try. It's gonna be bad.
I can't tell. It's not great quality.
No. This is fantastic. I can get my angles. Hi, friend.
Yeah, she's so responsible.
Doing huggies.
I'm proud of you.
Unlike her fucking waitress.
Are you drinking right now?
Huggies.
Up front another
Huggies.
11 hours.
We've had a lot of huggies. Huggies. Isn't that like a diaper?
Huggies. No.
Can you see yourself?
Hey guys. Are we on? Is it lit?
We're not Chris Villain.
Repeat that.
Don't get stuck in Hagrid's Dementor. It's common courtesy.
Everyone's dying. My nano starts. Justin, are you dying? No. Okay. Bunny people. It's gonna be Haley. Be a Haley, guys. When in doubt, be a Haley. This other one's like this. Haley.
No.
I was like, well, I kind of don't want to sit down in this, and I can't sit with my friends, and they're like, it's a fire hazard. And I was like, I'll burn the fucking place down.
This is the conversation. Burn the fucking place down.
Yeah.
Down.
You're not as tight as you look. Video. Stab.
What's happening? Oh, we're so cute. We're got bunnies. Can we be together? Or is it? Yay! We're the cutest. There's skulls on our ears. Yeah, we're good. Casper is the voice changer one too, I think. The normal cat. Yeah. You can hear Jackson killing people in the background. Can orcs be bunnies? Orcs can be everything. My ears covering your eye. Guys, never enough.
I'm just imagining like the Taylor Swift thing.
Okay.
The music video where like all her other selves are trying
Oh,
to
right, okay.
I'm imagining Poodle. I don't know why it's so funny. You're not even getting a picture of the mandibles.
Mandibles.
Like I'm gonna let it sit down to like prove that situation.
That was really good.
Magically, your hair became pink during the
I'm a fucking mermaid.
Because you don't feel like the person's acknowledging your humanness.
I haven't gone in your mouth yet.
Kaladin gave it a moment. Wick looked at his instrument, a proud smile on his lips. Finally, he tucked his instrument under his arm, took his bag and sword, and walked toward the doorway.
Are you acting out?
It's your story. You decide.
But you already knew it.
I know most stories, but I'd never told this one before. What does it mean, Kaladin?
This is what we're doing for the rest of the week.
The storm caught him.
The storm catches everyone, eventually. Does it matter?
I don't know.
Good. Then you have something to think about.
I used to do this with audiobooks.
Have you given up on the gemstone?